Hi, welcome to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, the Target Individual Experience. As you guys can see, I'm trying something new. I finally got the software and webcam to work properly. Hopefully it'll last. Okay, so update as far as my targeting. Well, they have intensified, especially being microwaving with the remote node monitoring. Tuesday, I had two classes. The first class early in the morning. The second one is the lab for the first class early in the morning. Same professor. And I was being targeted by the professor and some of the students, the majority of students in the classroom. One student threw 3 pennies on the ground. Okay, they tried to make it look as if he was going into his pocket to get something, but of course, nothing came out of his pocket except for 3 pennies. Then the professor proceeded to give us some sheets, right? Some homework sheets, and he didn't have enough. And as he was walking out to go make some more copies, he turned and he says to me, he literally called my name. He's like, "Nigel, I'm gonna go get more copies." So I'm just like, okay, this is the first time that he called me when he's going to make copies, because the previous times where he left to go make copies, he didn't call me. He didn't even look at me. But this time, he turned around, called up my name to let me know he's going to make copies, which I thought was really strange. And then he did this, okay, with his index finger, pointing finger, right? So I knew, okay, that day was going to be heavy targeting, which it was, and I'll show you what they did in the video. And even prior to that, on my way to class, okay. But before I begin, just want to mention the site psychologicalharassment.com. Please go read the information. Very informative if you're a target individual. This is a site that you must know about, that you must know the information that's on the site, because it will help you tremendously. Okay? So, the coercive mind control tactics that is being waged on target individual is to cover up non-consensual human experimentation. Okay, and the architect of these non-consensual human experimentation attempt to hide, deflect, and outright deny that any such non-consensual human experimentation is taking place. And so the use of a coercive mind control program or coercive persuasion program is to discredit those who are victims of the non-consensual human experimentation. We are villainized, we are manipulated through psychological means, as well as the manipulation of those around us. Okay? And so let's not make any mistake when I talk about what this is really. And that is, again, non-consensual human experimentation. Okay? And the cover-up of such non-consensual human experimentation. So besides the tactics that are used in the coercive persuasion program, and you guys can see it here as I scroll down, these are the 7 tactics. Okay, I will also recommend you guys go and read on J left Lifton, Robert J. Lifton thought reform, okay, in which he talks about the 8 criteria, right? The 8 criteria. So Robert J. Lifton, 8 criteria of thought reform as applied to the executive success programs. And here are the 8 criteria, which is Milu control, mystical manipulation, demand for purity, cult of confession, the sacred science, load in the language, doctrine of a person, dispensing of existence. Key information. Okay, both on the coercive mind control tactics and the 8 criteria of thought reform. Now, also to go along with this program is what is called, again, these are all incorporated into one program, is what is called Selbsterziehung. Okay? The Selbsterziehung of individuals was usually carried out by systematically undermining the target's quality of life, both socially and in the workplace, with the intention of simply destroying the target's confidence. The tactics use such various forms such as spreading slanderous rumors, causing trouble at work, etc. Rumors and information such as about unacceptable political viewpoints, inappropriate behavior, the possibility they may be an informant, etc., that will pass on to bosses in critical and social circles may be based on true facts, but were often plausible untruth that were hard or impossible to refute. And he talks about the first stage. Okay, so the first stage of Selbsterziehung was an evaluation of all state-held data and information. Example, medical records, school reports, police reports, intelligence reports, searches of target's residence. At this point, they were looking for any weak points, social, emotional, or physical, that could be used as a way to put pressure on the target. Example, extramarital affairs, criminal records, alcoholism, drug abuse, difference between the targets and their groups, age, class, clothing, style, etc., that could be used to socially isolate them. Okay? Then it goes on to talk about how they recruit people, right? So here's, so how did the Stasi persuade people to become informants? Appeals to patriotism, cash or material reward, blackmail, offer of immunity from threatened prosecution, making the mission sound like an exciting adventure. Okay? So it says the Stasi made a little secret of the fact that they use informant, and in fact deliberately helped spread rumors about informants. This was the cheapest and most effective way to incapacitate individuals or group. Okay? So here talk about paralyzing individuals and groups, gathering and using intelligence. Okay? And here talks about dealing with Selbsterziehung, which again I would highly recommend you guys read. The website is maxhertzberg.co.uk. Let me see if the webcam is not blocking the web address. Okay, so let's move that down so you guys can get a proper look. Okay. All right. So let's go to the videos. Okay. So this was last week. Can't remember what day it was exactly, but I was on my way to school and took the train. I was on my way to school. I'm sorry, on my way maybe 2 weeks ago. I was on my way to, I believe, get a immunization shot. All right. And this was early in the morning. Got to the train station. This woman that you see right here, standing on the mid stairs, as because there's 2 flights of stairs to go down into the train station, onto the train platform. I mean, and she, as I entered into the turnstile, she followed behind me, and she was very, very close to me. And I think she did that because she wanted me to notice her. Okay, which I did. You know, because I turned around and looked, I'm like, why is this woman walking so close behind me? So I went to get a Metro card. Okay, that took about maybe 3 or 4 minutes or so. Now, she had already went into the turnstile, and the train had already came, so she could have already caught that train. But again, they use the civilian perpetrators, and lately you'll see that they've been using, you know, these women, these white women, as you saw in my standalone video when I was gonna get off the bus, walking home. There was a white woman, again, standing in the rain, okay, waiting for me to get off the bus. Okay, which I showed that video again in this video. So anyway, entered into the turnstile, got to the first set of stairs going down. And she's standing there. She's standing there looking at me. Like she was just waiting. Standing there looking at me. You know, putting her hands over her mouth. Okay? And then looking at my crotch. And you can see, if you watch her eye movement, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So she's like looking at my crotch, because that's what a lot of people have been doing within the past 2 weeks or so. Right? Constant looking at this. It's a sexual harassment skit that they run. Right? So at that point, as she's standing there staring at me, I took my phone out, and she must have been so enthralled in her targeting of me that she didn't really notice at first. It didn't register in her mind at first that, you know, hey, I got my phone out and I'm recording her, until I started talking. So you see her standing there. Okay. And you could hear me say, watch. So you hear me say that she keeps looking at my crotch, right? Because that's what she's been doing. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next video. You have to excuse me. This is a accumulation of videos over the past 2 weeks. You know, because I did the video yesterday, but the software was acting up again. The videos and the webcam was very choppy, so I decided to uninstall the application and reinstall it, and hence this is, you know, the result. So it's working a lot better now. As well as that, I downloaded this handy camera application, so you can see behind me. I replaced the background, and you guys want to see what's in the background. It's let me go over here. Okay, it's the brain chip interface. Okay, and that goes without saying, right? Because when I talk about being microchip for the purpose of remote neural monitoring, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about, except there's no slot in the side of my head to insert the chip. It was done through the nasal passageway with a very long needle. That's why you always see the perps in my video. Sometimes you see some of them pinching their nose, right? Okay, so that afternoon, I went to pick up the kids from after school program, and we're walking home. And of course, you know, they have to, and you know, as a TI, you know when people are gang stalking you, psychologically harassing you, because you see the pattern, you know what they do. So this guy, he's wearing a jacket that says "Step up" or "Step out," something like that. Because he was standing at the corner. When he sees me, then he turns around and he starts to walk in front of me, so I can see the message on his jacket, right? All right, let me see if I can pause it right there. Here, come on. There you go. Step up or step out. So these are these clever little slogans that they like to put on shirts, t-shirts, sweaters, jackets. Okay, and you can see the woman walking towards me. You know, she, of course, is gonna bow her head down as she's approaching. But this is what they do. Okay, let's go to the next one. I know usually in my videos, you know, it's the flow in terms of the video pertaining to my target and one up to the next. It's like right after. But even here, after the video, after I stopped the video with the guy in the jacket, got on the block, and I'm walking, and I notice, you know, again, you can always tell when you're being targeted. And so here you see these people here that live in the building next to Pam, and you see as I approach, you see what she does. She'll pinch her nose, right? Okay, so let's do that over again. I want to pause it. Actually, she didn't pinch her nose. She actually took her thumb and trigger alert. Okay, trigger alert. To your TI, look away. Okay, close your eyes. So she takes her thumb and she press it on her nose, right? And then she pinch her nose. Okay, and then she looks at me, and of course you'll see her eyes. Let's go, and look at where her eyes goes to the, how her eyes drop down. She's, you know, looking at my crotch. And of course, guess who comes driving by, right? But the NYPD. Okay, because again, this is all a skit, street theater, send a subliminal message, and then the NYPD will roll by. Okay. See, there you go again. Now she pinched her nose. Okay, so you see this woman here in the red. Okay, let's go back. All right. So as the NYPD passed by, she starts to play with her hair. Okay, the woman standing here in front of the building, you see she puts her hands behind her back again, because that's the palm fixation drill, right? And now you see this woman here, she's walking, she starts playing with her hair, and then eventually you'll see her pinch her nose right there. Okay, and then this woman here, now she looks and picks up her bag, right? And you see, as if to show me right? And now she's going to leave. Okay, so again, this is all orchestrated because you can see and tell by the movement, right? The synchronization of the movement. Okay, so this is what they're doing. Even this morning, coming back from class, walking to the train station, there's these two white police officers standing, on the sidewalk towards the street. As I approach going into the train station, they walked across. Right, this is how. If you want to see the video of when the three police officers were at my college trying to intimidate me, as I was approaching, they both walked across. Same thing happened with these two police officers, but these were in police uniforms. These officers was in police uniform. Walked across me, go down to the train station. Right. So this is the stuff that they do and continue to do. All right. And they don't want me to talk about it because it's a constant threat when they do stuff like that, right? Because either I'm able to record it. This time I wasn't because it happened so quickly, and it's kind of being distracted by the other civilian perpetrators who are engaging in the hand signals and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to play this again. And I'm not going to pause it. There she go pinching her nose. Okay, now look at her eyes go down to the crotch area. Okay. He bows his head at me. Okay. And the NYPD drives by. Get in the red. Brush her hair, then pinch her nose. The other lady picks up her bag, and she walks off. Okay. Again, everything orchestrated. So later, I went home. I got to the bus stop, and while I was there, this guy came and sat up in front of me. He took an envelope out of his pocket, right, and he turned the envelope to where I can see the seal for the Social Security Administration, right? So again, this is subliminal of because they're constantly trying to take away my disability. Because if I keep talking about this stuff, if I shut up, it doesn't matter. This is something that they do over and over again to try to indoctrinate you, to condition you into silence, right? And so even when you're not talking about what's being done to you, it's still being done. So it doesn't matter. Don't believe their psychological BS, the subliminals they're trying to send you about, be quiet, you won't get targeted, or you get money, what have you. Don't believe that stuff. It's all BS. Okay? So then I get in the bus, right? Sit down. He comes in and sits down across from me. And he sits down, and you'll see again he's going to take out alright, let me start from the beginning. Alright, so here he is taking out the letter or the envelopes, right? And I hope you guys can see that symbol right there. Okay, that's the symbol for the Social Security Administration. Okay, and now watch what he does. So he sticks his tongue out. Okay, so let's play it again. Right there. Let me pause it. Right there. Sticks his tongue out at me. Does it again. Okay, so again, this is constantly being done. There's nothing new. Whether I do a video or not, it's constantly being done. And I just do the video because I gotta expose it. All right, I gotta show people, exactly what's happening and narrate and explain to them what's being done. Okay, so again, I got off the bus. Okay, I got off the bus and I've uploaded this video by itself. But I got off the bus and I noticed this woman standing, this white woman standing a little bit up from the bus stop, but she's just standing there. I got off the bus. She started doing these hand signals. Okay. And then she takes a puff of her cigarette. Okay, at that point, I took up my phone, started to record, and at that point, she turns around and start walking away. Okay, now I want you guys to also hear the noise campaign in the background. Usually when I'm being targeted like this, there's a lot of noise campaign from ambulances, fire trucks, or police vehicles in the background. Now you can see how heavy it is raining. I mean, it is pouring. And you can see, look at her feet, right? She's wearing slippers. Okay? Okay. I'm just now I want you to, in front of her there's these two Jewish young women, and they're going to stop. Okay, check it out. They're going to stop in front of her building, right? Watch this. So this goes to show you how this is orchestrated, right? How this is all set up, right? Because they were walking in front of her. They didn't know she was behind them, okay? Because she was a good distance behind them. But they're going to stop in front of her building now. I guess in case I assaulted her for targeting me, they can be a witness, right? Because this is what they do, right? Because they, again, it's the emotional control they think they have over you. And in the beginning, they will have emotional control over you, okay? So once they're going to stop, okay, see that? Okay, now as she goes into her building, now they turn around and they walk off. See that? Look, slippers in the pouring rain. I mean, look how heavy that rain is coming down. Okay? Unbelievable, right? No, I shouldn't say unbelievable, but it's pretty damn right incredible what they'll do. All right, so next morning, got up again to go to. I had to go move the car first. I moved the car, got back in the house, get my bag, walked back out, and there's this dude there. I'm like, where did this dude come from? He wasn't there before. But again, this is what they do, right? It's all set up. It's all done strategically. You know, I had to move the car, so I got up early to move the car, and then went back in. Then they positioned their perp, homeless, probably this guy I believe was homeless and mentally ill, because he's he just had like cards all laid out in rows, and there were cards with the emoji of the the laughing, crying emojis. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Right here. Okay. This one. Right. Okay, so it's the one where you see the cursor is on. That's the one. Okay, and this was like around 7 a.m. in the morning. Okay. And so, yeah, I proceeded to walk to the train station. And I get to the block in which the train station is on, and I saw another homeless man walking across the street towards me, right? Because I didn't go to. There's two entrances, right? So there's the one with the token booth is on the other side. The one without the token booth is closer to where I'm at, but I have to go get a Metro card, so I gotta walk that way. So when he sees that I didn't go to that entrance, he walks across the street, right? He walks across the street, and he started walking alongside of me. Okay, let's get a good picture of him. Okay. Right. So one of the things that they do is that they'll walk alongside of you and try to synchronize their movement with your movement, right? Because they do a lot of synchronization. Or did I miss that lady? Let's go back again. Okay. Now, and the people that know what's going on, okay? Because you'll see this lady here that's coming. She looks at him, okay, and then she had like this look on her face. Let me see if I can pause it exactly. It might be a little difficult. But right there, right? So she had this look on her face. She's looking at him, and she's like, man, you know, she must have been saying, these people are sick, you know, to be out here doing this stuff. Okay? Synchronization. Okay? Alright. So again, you know, I get to class and that morning, and I think I had calculus, and the professor keeps making a whole bunch of mistakes. She was making mistakes after mistakes after mistakes, and I think they're trying to get me to believe that because of the microwaving that's taking place, that is the reason why she's making all these mistakes. Because I'm just like, I said to the guy, no, the guy in front of me turned around. He's like, this is supposed to be a teacher. She making all this mistake, you know? And I said to him, I said, yeah, I said, you know, we write something down thinking it's right, and then somebody else mentioned to her, hey, that's wrong. That's wrong. You gotta, you know. And these are long equations, right? So we have to, like, if you write with a pen, you gotta cross that stuff out, and you know it's difficult to have to write all that stuff over again. You know, so this is what was happening, okay? And I've noticed since she's came back, because we had a substitute professor, and she came back about 2 weeks ago, that she kept doing that, okay? And again, you know, with the sirens going off outside, you know, in relation to me being targeted within the classroom by the professor and the other students, right? Okay, so I'm on my way home. Okay, got in the train station, got on the train platform, and this woman comes. She stands up on the train platform. She kept looking at me. She takes her phone out, looks at it, look at me, put the phone back in her pocket. So we got on the train. She came and she stand up. Now the train was empty. She could have sat down in any seat that she want, but nope. She stands up right across from me. Okay, so I started recording her. Now watch her movement. Pay close attention to her movements. So now she has a cigarette lighter in her hand. Okay. And she's looking at my movement. And when she saw me zoom in, she starts clicking on the cigarette lighter, right? Placing her thumb. Just like that, okay? So now she's upset because I'm still got the camera on her, and she knows she's being recorded. And again, let's go through some of her masking technique. All right. So she's looking at the woman right here. Because again, they try to send me a message. One day it's like, well, don't talk to any women. The next day it's like, well, talk to this woman, you know, which I don't pay any mind. So now you'll see her try to mask it. Now you see she takes her pointing finger in this finger, and we know what that means. If you've been watching my video, you know the relation that I talk about, the conditioning to that finger. Okay, and then you'll see her masking her fingers, right? So they love to do 4 fingers. So you see, if you look at how she moves her finger, okay, and then she flicks it out open, takes her phone out. Now look how high she raises her thumb. You know, it's really in an exaggerated position while pressing her phone. Now, see her stick her tongue out? See that? Okay, watch. See that? And as she goes to put her phone in her pocket, but she knows she doesn't want to put the phone in that pocket because she had. I think she zipped up that pocket. I'm not sure, but anyway. But again, it's the masking, right? Now you look at her middle finger. Okay. Let's do that. Let's check this out. Okay. Now look at how she is semi sticking her middle finger out. This is all masking technique. Okay. All right. Okay. See, I'm still recording. So now she's gonna do the spoiled child, silent temper tantrum for her arms. Look all mad. Okay, she takes her tongue out and she folds her lips. Okay. Unbelievable. These people. But this is what they do. I go through this on a daily basis. Alright? So later on, went by Pam, because I was went to my house. Went by Pam. She called me. Talking for a little bit. She was like, I got a lot of work to do. So I might go back to the hospital. But then she's like, you know what? I'm going to come home. So, and she seemed like really enthusiastic. She seemed really enthusiastic, right? Which is like, I'm just like, hold up. I spoke to you earlier. You're like, oh, I'm tired and blah, blah, blah. I just spoke to you and you was yawning. So I was like, okay, they probably influenced her with the technology. That's why she wants to run home to target me. Which, of course, exactly what happened, because the minute the door opens, I started recording. And I kind of moved the video up to the point where, she started having a conversation with me. Normally she just go to her room, or she have a conversation. She have a conversation with me, but then she begins with the exaggerated hand movements. And when you look at people who talk with their hands, okay, a lot of times, most of the times, your hand is facing inwards. Okay, it isn't turned around outwards facing talking to somebody, unless your name is Shenane. Okay. But during that day, I knew when she started doing with the hand signal, it was the palm fixation drill that was happening. And again, because she was being influenced with the technology. So if you look at the TV screen right here, because I didn't have the phone turned the way that I thought it was turned, but if you look at the TV screen right here, you'll see the hand movement. Okay. Okay, so you see it, how the hands the majority of the time is turned towards me, the palm of her hand. Now she's going to switch over. Okay, so it was, she switched over now, and now you can see her hand, and now she's talking, right? So there's no audio because I don't want to let the audio play, just in case she's saying triggering words, and I don't want any other TIs to get triggered by what it is that she's saying. She walks off. Okay. Okay, see, she walks off. Okay. All right. So now, here's the other video. She's gonna come back because she's trying to show me some earrings that she had. Okay. And then she asked, "Are you recording me?" And I said no. Okay, now watch. And then she's gonna turn around, walks off. She bows her head. This is something that they do. And then she's walking. You see how her palm is facing towards me, instead of to the side. Because again, you know, with the use of the technology and the influence that they can have on others around you, including, you know, me or any other TI, if you're not aware of it, and even if you're aware of it, it can still influence you. But yeah, so this is the next day, as I was heading towards her apartment, and 5 minutes earlier I was on the phone with her. There were 2 fire trucks that passed by, you know, because they were just there until they saw me approach, then they drove off, right? And so 5 minutes later, I am at this intersection, and guess who comes driving by with the fire trucks? Okay. Now let's go back slightly, and you see this. If you look to your right, there's an individual here sticking her hands in her ears. Okay, let's okay, got parking. Alright, let's go to the next video. And this video is from today, again this morning. After class, got on the train, and this guy got on the train, sits down across from me. Okay, started targeting me. So I turned my phone on, started recording it, and he got quiet. He stood there. So he knows he's being recorded, and he don't like it. But I'm gonna put you on blast because he's a criminal. Okay, engaging in conspiracy against an individual's rights, engaging in a criminal coercive persuasion program, engaging in psychological manipulation. I was trying to bait him to do something. See, he looks over at me because I was doing hand signals to him. Because I wanted to see if he's going to do some hand signals back so I can film it. And it's going to work. Eventually, he's going to start doing, certain things. Let me see if I can get to that part. Where is it? There you go. Okay. To act like he's wiping away his tears and then scratching the side of his face. Alright. Now you're gonna see how they're gonna use the red theme. Okay. Because you remember too, this just happened when when I walked to the train station with the 2 police officers, right, that walked across in front of me, went down in the train station. Okay, so here she comes in the red. He pinches his nose. She looks over at me. Okay, let's see. Alright. Looks over at me again. This time with the fixated stare, and then look how she keeps looking up at the train ceiling. See, she's looking at the window, looking at me, and then looking up at the ceiling. Right? Look at the eye movement. Okay, look at the eye movement. She's looking at me, look up at the ceiling, and then she did a little tilt of the head, like, So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the target individual experience. experiencing the crazy ass people in this crazy ass world of ours who think that they are engaging in some type of whatever game they've been told, okay? And you know, the mental illness within these individuals is staggering that they would do these things, right? And it just goes to show you that those who are cult members, who participate in cult activities, and who feel protected by the cult leaders who are members of law enforcement, that they feel like they can get away with doing this stuff to anybody that they can. Okay? And I'm here to say, no, you can't, because I'm going to expose it, particularly when it's being done to me. Okay? So that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please give a like, thumbs up, leave a comment. I review all the comments, so if you're going to leave nasty comments or negative comments, it'll be deleted. Okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video.